Well, the business itself is about 6-7 years old now. Initially, it really started doing a lot of trailer work and just random basic fabrication on trailers. A lot of people would buy a trailer from a different party. They'd bring it to me and I would totally customize it for a handicap reason. Maybe they had handicap needs or special needs, or they wanted, extra tie downs and extra different axle and just kind of pimp the thing out a little bit, beef it up. And then we started making them from scratch. Over the years, we've gone into things in industries that I never in the past would have anticipated even being involved with. Then we progressed, we grew, and we moved to this location where we're at here, and we've been here ever since. That was 2015 that we started here, and we still do a lot of that trailer work and modifications, and now it's really more art related, I want to say, and more metal shaping related. Really, one of the big ones to point out is that deer stand there. So for folks that aren't familiar with hunting, that's a deer stand. That was a product that I made years ago. It was kind of a labor of love when I did do it. It got difficult because it's a competitive field, and I wasn't set up at the time to be doing it on a production scale. So a few pieces you see up there that are on our website and stuff that we do sell, actually. Your basic, two-dimensional metal art, your 3D metal art. This is a version that we're prototyping and working with still. That we're going to do some cool things with this, but this buck essentially that you see here, this was done on this router, and then we made a file to do a positive and negative to create this jig. So we used the jig to just get it kind of close, and then we did some refined touches on the planishing hammer actually to kind of smooth that out. And it's not to perfection yet at all, but this is just kind of a first draft. So Spartan helmets are a big thing. This is some Spartan helmets that we make. This is a blue line Spartan helmet here, patriotic one here. The polished steel look though, taking that one and just polishing it up to a brilliant shine is really what a lot of folks prefer, and it does look really cool. This is a shield that we cut on our router here, and this kind of accents the Spartan helmet. So what we'll do is we'll basically cut this back half of the helmet off and make this flat, and then this helmet will basically mount to the front of the shield. And then we got some garden kind of yard stuff that we do. This is the Blue Jay piece that we do. So this is all meant to be outside. Baileigh is pretty instrumental, to be honest. We do a lot of OEM stuff, and then we do a lot of prototype stuff. It's literally a huge spectrum. If I can't prototype something quick, that's a problem. So Baileigh's helped immensely with that kind of approach. But on the flip side, if I need to mass produce something and make 500, 1,000, or whatever it might be, I can set up the machine and I can still do that as well. So the versatility has been important and huge. There's a lot of stuff that I can do on a machine that isn't necessarily set in the manual. You're only limited to your imagination, really. The machine is not going to limit you much at all. It's really more imagination stuff. Obviously, it's got quite the footprint on the metal fabrication, metal shaping world. So it's covering all those production folks and all the smaller end mom and pop shops as well. It just has a pulse on what is going on, what's current, what's cool, and what folks are looking for. We're gonna show you around our shop here a little bit. Pretty important tool here, our bandsaw. This is actually an upgraded machine from what we had. We traditionally had a smaller Baileigh bandsaw here, and outgrew that actually. And this has now been pretty much a workhorse, doing lots of structural stuff and some smaller stuff. Like you can see here, we've got an assortment of tubes that we cut a lot for a product that we make, and those are all done on this machine. So pretty cool. This is kind of a tacking area, an assembly area. A lot of parts and pieces here and different things, jigs and whatnot. This is a product that we make, an OEM product for a local customer. It's a large cabinet. There's some various sizes here at different stages of fabrication right now. Yeah, we got Landon here, my 10-year-old son, playing on the letter brake. He likes the letter brake. So in this little corner here is kind of like a grinding, polishing area, honestly. If it's gonna be a dirty thing, we're gonna do it in this corner. We've got the Baileigh air filtration here as well, obviously. This thing runs in conjunction with our fans. It gets anything that's residual that gets kind of beyond the worker, I guess, and it does a great job. We run that thing continuously. I wouldn't have been able to honestly even come close to fabricating a lot of even these tables without that first machine we saw, that bandsaw. That bandsaw cut all this stuff, coped all this stuff, and it's been awesome. And then, because we're kind of in the grinding, polishing station, so we've got our belt grinder here. This is the multi-purpose grinder, multiple radiuses on top here, 2-inch belt. Works really well, lots of power, 110 volt, which I like a lot, and flexible, so that's a nice tool. We've got our slip roll, 5016, I believe this one is. This is great. The specific reason for this machine is on some fire pits that we make. We do a radiused fire pit. This thing works great. It bends 14 gauge really without missing a beat. Good machine, works good. Yeah, and then we got the brake. Done a lot of work on this brake. A lot of the parts for our chassis that we just looked at are done on this brake. And I've got some different fingers I've kind of machined up and made to get a radius. Instead of having a sharp bend on it, you can do different radius fingers and whatnot. It's a square-shaped fire pit. These are the pieces that we bend on this brake. Make multiple variations of these. Yeah, bend it up and make it kind of look like what you see there on the floor. And then the beast, I'd call it the shop press with a press brake die in it. That was an add-on. This is a 30-ton hydraulic press. This thing does really everything. It crushes stuff, it pushes stuff out, it bends stuff, it straightens stuff. I love this die that's on here, which I got from Baileigh as well. Multi-V bottom die. I think I bent up to 3/8 flat bar, like 5 inches wide on this thing. So, and then we got our roll bender. What this will do is we'll obviously roll rings like you see up there. There's some different versions. And I'll use that ring to enforce that top lip of the fire pit. But then I also do it for stuff like this. This is a handle that I've made for a local customer here that they use for pulling the fifth wheel down on a semi-trailer. So a multitude of other things get put to this, but this is the handle component, and this was actually made and rolled on this machine here. So just a subtle bend, not much to it. 1x2, I want to say tubing this was, and it does a great job. We do actually quite a few of these, and then we put them in the jig and we kind of put all the finishing touches to them. The double drum sander, but this machine traditionally is meant for wood, sands wood, does a great job for that, but what we're doing with it is we're using it for polishing very, very thin stainless and some steel and putting a grain to that material. The thing about Baileigh's social media, I would say, especially for the smaller shop, it really gets that smaller shop a voice. That social media assistance to that little shop can take that shop from entry level to something, you know, great, something huge potentially down the road. So that level of support, that social media support that Baileigh provides is super beneficial to the smaller shops out there, and even some of the larger shops too, to a lot of extent. I would say that Baileigh's got a really good knowledge base within that company, it seems like. So if you have a specific question, need specific help, they've got some really good folks in-house that can help with application kind of stuff. Another huge benefit for us in our geographical location is, you know, we're in Manitowoc and Baileigh's in Manitowoc, so yeah, we're super close and we can bop over there whenever we need. So the first thing here is our drill press. This is the 1000G drill press. So basically a little gear-driven drill press. It works great. I've got the quick change chuck on it, which I like. I also got a keyless or a key chuck on there too. And then I've got the Baileigh vise, which is this vise I like a lot. It's super cool. It slides and then you just cinch it up to whatever you're doing. So this thing's good. I like that thing a ton. And then I guess some of the things we got underneath our stairs here, as you can see, these are things we just don't use too much all the time, and they're on wheels, so we can move them around. So we got the shrinker stretcher back in there. Periodically use that. We got our HP 160, which is a hole punch. And that gets used off and on for cleaning out those holes that come off our plasma table or laser table. This is the 24-inch electric bead roller. So this thing's on wheels as well. We move it around. And we got a whole bunch of rolls too for it. That really, we use really all of them. I mean, they're all pretty pertinent. This machine here, the slip roll, this is a 24-inch version. It's a benchtop machine. I put it up on a cart and got it on casters so I can kind of move it around, but this thing I use for all kinds of stuff that I never actually thought I would even use it for. These rolls are smaller, so my radius is, I can get tighter radiuses. I can't do that on the 50, so this thing's awesome. And we've got our plasma cutter. This is our main workhorse plasma table, does all our thicker plate. And we've got our CO2 laser here, where we can cut steel, we can etch, we can do all that stuff off here too. So, and then we got the throatless shear. This is the MPS 5. That thing too, it's a utility tool, honestly. It's always right by a table of some kind. This is where I do a lot of prototyping, a lot of R&D. If I have an idea that I think is kind of creative and is gonna touch a chord with folks, this is where it's kind of being developed from. I have the Baileigh welder up there on that little jib arm that I made a few years back now. It's basically used for tacking and fitting and all that stuff. And I've got the sandbag from Baileigh over there for metal shaping. Got a little anvil that we made too over there. PH24, so planishing hammer. Got all the dies up there on the wall. And that kind of, at that point there, we kind of switched gears from metal to more wood. So we've got the 600C, the Cyclone dust collector. I like it because it's tiny, and I like it because it's 110 volt. So it works good in my shop here. And it complements this router very well. This is the 32, WR32 router. This router capability is a lot greater than what people give it credit for, is what I'm finding. And some of the stuff I've done on it, obviously wood. This aluminum, this was all done on here. This is an aluminum flag that will fill with epoxy and stuff like that. But this is a lot of stuff we can do on this machine. Plastic, Delron, HDP, all that different stuff you can do on this machine. So, and then moving on here, big workhorse here, this is the mill, 1040 mill. This machine is one of the newer ones to the family. This has been here for about a month now, I wanna say, month and a half. And is still working out some little adjustment tweaks to get it positioned just like I want it and getting things in order, but I like it a lot. So my two boys, which are 10 and 12 right now, cool to see them play and work. They've got like 3 machines they love. They love the letter break, they love the slip roll, they love the throatless shear. And I think Gabriel, now my oldest son, is really liking welding quite a bit. If there's any legacy I do leave at all, I do want to feel as though that we did some original stuff here. I want to feel like we did something cool, something different that you don't see in everyday products and everyday things out there. So, and the fact that I can teach my kids this kind of industry, this kind of artwork, this kind of just hands-on, lifestyle, and that it's okay to get dirty, it's okay to do a lot of these things, you can do it, and work with them and see that kind of develop. I can't think of a bigger legacy right there, honestly. That's the biggest one.